Good morning, Dr. Jen Welter. Thanks for being on.
Hey, you know what? You just called and look who answered. This is Boss. Her name is Boss because we all need to know that there's a lot of boss in all of us women that are doing things. So there is nowhere that Boss and I would rather be than here with other powerful women. That's how we change things.
All right, Coach. I'm so excited you're here. If you don't know Dr. Jen Welter, you've been amazing. You've helped us out with the FAM project. You've made a career of shattering ceilings, paving the way for women and girls behind you. That's all you do. That's all you think about. It's who you are. You're the first female coach in the NFL, in EA Sports. You were the head coach for the Australian women's national team. You have 2 gold medals with Team USA, master's in sports psychology. And I call you Doc for a reason. You got your doctorate as well. So you're kind of a boss yourself. So thank you for being here and sharing your wisdom and love of National Girls and Women's in Sports Day.
Well, Angela, we always say game recognizes game, right? And we may be in different sports, but our game is definitely up on the same level. Anytime I can get together with you, I'm going to be there because that's how we ensure that there's change, right? Like we've got to link arms and, put our magic superpowers together so that we can be exponentially good.
All right, the sisterhood is here. We have one more guest going to drop in, trailblazer, an actor, a producer, a philanthropist, a podcaster, an author, an all-around amazing person. Alyssa Milano is going to drop in very shortly. She couldn't have live coffee with us this morning, but because she's kind of promoting her #1 movie on Netflix, Brazen. If you haven't seen it, go see Brazen. It's literally the #1 movie right now. And she's going to jump in and give us some motivation. Fellow sisterhood, National Girls and Women's in Sports Day. So if you don't know what National Girls and Women's in Sports Day is, here in the US, it's really trying to acknowledge the progress we've made to date. We have done a lot of incredible things as an industry to support girls and women in sport, but we also want to recognize that the struggle's real. We got a long way to go, and it takes people like you, Dr. Jen, Alyssa, others that are going to step up and give some visibility to this day and to, again, the things that we could be doing to go further, to go faster. So this day is really important. Jen, I know you've inspired everyone, but I'm curious, who's inspired you? There's so many great, amazing women that have come before you. You were the first in a lot of ways, but we're pushing together. Give me a story about a game, an athlete, an accomplishment, something that has really changed your life in National Girls and Women's Sports Day today.
One of those women for me is in the sport that is furthest from my own, right? Basketball, I heighted out, right? I topped out in height at before 8th grade. Everybody else was up here and I was like, I got the low balls, right? Like I'm defense all day,
okay.
Right? But it's Nancy Lieberman. To me, she really has continued to set the standard on what men and women look like when they're in the same game. And you recognize that talent is talent and it doesn't come with a gender assignment, right? Nancy played with the guys. She coached the guys. She's continued to be visible and vocal, advocating for change. Because I think sometimes, and I know we've even talked about this, Angela, like you get in that position and it's scary because people may want to check the box with you, but they also want to check your ego, right? They don't want you to be, you might want to be seen, but not heard. And I think I've always looked at Nancy and she is one of my dear friends. And I'm like, you know what, if I have an opportunity to be a Nancy, I'm going to lead like she does. And I'm going to go all in and advocate. And so she's been my motivation and also like the person who I could call when I'm like, I don't know, nobody else has ever done this before. Hey, can I call that other first female coach? No, there wasn't anybody. And I would call her. And we had parallel experiences in different sports.
So Nancy Lieberman, look her up if you don't know her. She's a legend. She's someone, again, if you can see it, you can be it. Someone that it's great that she inspired you. You're taking action. You did it yourself. Obviously, it sounds like you were inspired by Nancy, but tell me about a day in the life and how people can get involved in, really taking action now, which is what we're talking about here on National Girls and Women Sports Day, action to get more girls and women involved. What's the day in the life all about?
So a day in the life was something that I heard over and over when I had finished in the NFL. So many women would say, I think I'd really like football, but I don't understand it, or I've never gotten an opportunity to learn it. Like, what's that day like? And I was like, oh, I could take you through a day in the life. And what resulted was literally designing a program to educate women on the game of football that they maybe had watched but never been welcomed into, right? Knowing that when you're allowed access and you get to see that football is full contact chess, and we're going to actually teach you how to see that strategy as opposed to just watching the quarterback, you get to be that more involved and empowered fan. And so we piloted the program with the Washington football team, and we had a waiting list of 700 women in under 72 hours.
Wow.
And this was pushback for people that were like, we don't think women really want to learn. And I heard that over and over. And I was like, not the women I know. And so it's a program that is for women, by women. We have female coaches up front. Obviously, I'm the head coach for the day. We have a very special partner who is my partner in crime with this, and that is none other than Miss Brazen, Alyssa Milano. And, you know, she pioneered kind of a parallel path with touch when she saw that women were fans, but nobody was a fan of the gear that they were getting, right? Like, you had to wear men's stuff to really be able to rep your team.
As I say, shrink it and pink it was the strategy.
Yeah, but they didn't even shrink it. I don't even think they shrunk it or pinked it. Like, they just were like, here's
we're small.
Something. Right. We're small, and we're like trying to cut up our sleeves and stuff. And, you know, she pioneered that so long ago. And I remember when she did that, and I was like, that's amazing. And I was so impressed with her. And we've gotten to become friends. And when I pitched this program to her, she goes, well, we have to do that. It's amazing. And so we're literally taking over the Rose Bowl during Super Bowl week to teach women football. And it's going to benefit the work that we do with Gridiron Girls. So it's a fundraiser for Gridiron Girls where we teach confidence through football all across the country. And so, you know, and she was the first one to have my back. And it was kind of crazy. I was like, did this just happen?
I love it. So footballisfemale.com. Go on, check it out. You are taking your passion, putting it to action, giving more women access to learning about the game of football. They're going to be better fans. They're going to maybe sign up more kids to play. Good things happen, and just have a great day at the freaking Rose Bowl. So I'm excited to see that. I want to hear though what Alyssa Milano has to say. She's going to pop in now and give us a few words on what National Girls and Women's in Sports Day means to her and how she believes you should be taking action today.
Angela and Jen, I am so psyched to be kicking off National Girls and Women in Sports Day with the both of you, two of my favorite people on the planet. For me this past year, I was just incredibly inspired by Simone Biles, not only because she's the greatest of all time in women's gymnastics, but to me she demonstrated the courage and fearlessness to put herself and her mental health first, you know, during a time when that decision must have been incredibly difficult. She is undoubtedly helping to destigmatize mental health struggles, and she exemplified how an athlete can handle, you know, that situation, a very difficult situation, with absolute grace, and as Jen always says, greatness. In terms of how I'm taking action this year and how I'd love to see people get involved, I think we need to get to the core of the gender equality issue and speak up and stand up in support of ratifying the Equal Rights Amendment. Start by educating yourself on how ratifying the ERA would ensure that the equality of rights under the law cannot be denied in any state on account of sex. This is foundational and will contribute to ensure an equity in anything and everything women want to participate in, including sports. And you can learn more about my efforts and how you can help by going to eracoalition.org. Now let's use today as the beginning of something much greater. Okay, happy National Girls and Women in Sports Day, everyone. God bless you all.
All right, that was awesome. Jen, I mean, you're close to Alyssa. I know Alyssa. I've actually known Alyssa since I think I was 7. Her younger brother, Corey, played hockey. And so they were little rink rats growing up, like my family. She's the real deal. The Equal Rights Amendment is not just in sports. As she mentioned, that is about making everything more equitable. And, you know, at the decision-making level, at the legislative level, I know it's something she's been pushing for a very long time on, that I want to support. Reflections on her comments.
You know, I mean, it just speaks to the visionary that she is and how we all need to think, right? And that means not just go down into our silos and see one little thing that generally is a symptom, right? And it's a symptom of what voices are reflected in the rooms that are making decisions.
I'm inspired. I'm gonna, you know, this is the day to get up and do something. Reflecting on someone that I want to make sure anyone watching this knows. Billie Jean King's always been my hero. I could talk about her for days. I love her to death. I've learned so much from her. But someone else that I want to highlight in addition to Billie is a woman by the name of Lucy Harris, nicknamed Lucy. If you don't know that name, you should. We unfortunately lost her very recently. She's a pioneer in the women's basketball space, but also the men's basketball space. She's a badass. College star, Olympian, the first and only female player ever to be drafted into the NBA. And I don't think a lot of people know this story. We unfortunately again lost her, I think, before it could be mainstream. Hopefully it's a Netflix movie one day, what she was able to do. So anyway, I just want to give her a little shout out, because here's a woman that, again, is a legend. And on today's day about celebrating legends. So Lucy Harris, you're awesome. Go Google her. I encourage everyone here, sign up for Football is Female. If you want to learn more about what we're doing at Sports Innovation Lab to help girls and women in sport, check out our website, sportsilab.com, or through what you mentioned, Jen, before, the FAM Project, going to thefanproject.co. That was our initiative to break down and drive more investment in women's sports with data, really unlock the business potential for women's sports. So proud of the work that we're doing and continue to do. You can all be doing something more. Jen, I'm going to throw it over to you last. Coach, give us a pep talk. What do we do? We're here because we care about National Girls Women's Sports Day. We want to be inspired, but we want to take action. What do we do? You got the last word, Dr. Jen.
Well, the first thing I would say is, when we're looking at the good of women and girls, that means we're looking at the good of society, right? We can't put it in just a bucket. These are your moms. These are your daughters. These are your sisters. And when you look at the world and see an inequity, think about how it would reflect closely in your life, right? To the people that you love. It's not something far away. It's something really close. And say, you know what? That's not right. And here's how I can take a step forward. This is important. There is no real job that you just get to check the box and say, I am here because I'm female. I'm going to check the girl box. When you're good, someone will want you. So when you want to get into a game that is not traditionally considered a place or a space that you should go, let your game speak. Let your game speak louder than your gender, louder than your haters, louder than social media for sure. Because when you're good, someone will want you. Now, that doesn't mean everybody will recognize your talent, and that's okay too. Because if they look past you, I need you to get past them and give them whiplash with your ponytail when they're like, dang, she did that. So make it happen and realize in everything that you do, it's not just what you do, but what you do with what you've done. Angela was an accomplished athlete. one of the best to ever do it. And yet what makes me love her and love Alyssa is the fight that they bring every day because of the platform and power that they have. So feel empowered to not just do it on the field or on the rink or on the court, right? But in everything that you do, take that same spirit with you and realize that we can elevate the game, whatever game it is that you're playing.
I love it, man. I got goose pimples. I'm like fired up. I want to go for a run. Every time I speak to you, Jen, you're someone that just, I think, lifts. You just lift people. You empower people. You're doing the same thing. You're using your platform to make a positive change in the world. And I think, owe you a sense of gratitude for doing that in a space that's really hard. That's, again, has historically been very, very male dominated. So just want to say thank you for being here, for inspiring us, for all the girls and women that you touch and the men too that you inspire. And again, footballsfemale.com, check it out. I'm going to get in some pads soon. To Alyssa Milano, thanks for dropping in. You are a shero of mine as well, have always fought for the right thing and are continuing to do it using your platform. Here are two women to me that are taking action, and that's what National Girls and Women's in Sports Day is all about. Let's reflect on the heroes all around us, the heroes before us, the heroes to come. But let's do something. Go buy a ticket today. Go buy a jersey today. Go send an email to an owner today and say you want more support for girls and women. Do something. That's my little knack. But Jen, you're awesome. Doctor, coach,
Same.
keep doing it. Come on.
Do it.
You're gonna show me football, and I'm gonna show you hockey, and it'll be the day in the life.
I'm so ready.
I don't know. I feel like you're gonna be a better hockey player than I'm gonna be a football player because I'm still learning the rules.
Nope. You know what? Because there's a position for everybody in football. That's the beautiful thing about you. What makes you different makes you special. We just got to find the place where your special talents are used to the maximum advantage.
Yeah. Well, I don't know what position it is in hockey. For sure, you're at least my inspirational coach. Like, whether you even know the rules of the game, I want you to say something to me before I start my next Olympic game, because you're awesome. So thank you so much for being here today.
You got it. Anything for you. You know that.